You're watching the Green Machine home for Irish football news and nostalgia. David Dunn here, joined by Martin Prendergast, and we are going to be covering the upcoming international window. Of course, the Republic of Ireland play the Dutch in Amsterdam in their final Group B game, and then, well, maybe the final game of Stephen Kenny against the All Whites, New Zealand at home in Lansdowne Road. We're going to be talking about all things Republic of Ireland, plus FAI and their Sports Ireland woes, and loads of other stuff. Players coming in, players going out. It's all coming up on tonight's episode of The Green Machine. Martin, good to be back. Haven't been on for a while. Good to see you, pal. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, Dave. Looking forward to the international break. You know, that's it. I was just saying off air that I'm a little bit disillusioned with VAR and all the rubbish, and that isn't just because Man United are so woeful at the moment. I'm looking forward to the international break, wanting to see Ireland again. My enthusiasm is gone through the roof with our wonderful under-16 victory shield. Victory shield victory. Fair play to the lads getting that across the line. I think that's 3 years in a row. I think we've won that now, so that's brilliant. Yeah, very interesting to kind of follow Ireland underage, and we've seen a few developments now with some of the boys from the under-21s coming up into the senior squad. So I think, you know, I'm the Mr. Positive, aren't I, of the podcast, and you know we're coming to the end now of an era, I think. And sadly, I think, I did want Stephen Kenny to do well. I don't think he's writing himself off yet, but I think it is coming to an end. And it's just interesting, isn't it? It's always fun following Ireland off the pitch, on the pitch. Just mad.
Never a dull day. Of course, Martin and I will be over in Amsterdam. No need for sex, drugs, and rock and roll for you and I, Martin, eh? Of course, the only drug we need are the boys in green when we're in Amsterdam. That's the sad truth. No sex. That's what you told me in Faro anyway, so just saying.
Yeah, I did say you are
no, you said get off me, get away from me, you dirty man. long
look, to be fair, we really enjoyed ourselves, didn't we, in Faro? And
we did.
We want to do that again, and we're going off on a road trip again, Dave. And I'm bringing Keane with me this time, and it's going to be anyone I'm saying to that I'm going off to Amsterdam, bring Keane with me. He's going to have his eyes, opened to the world, I suppose. And I said, yeah, he's going to meet Dave. We'll spend a bit of time with Dave, and that's it.
Poor little fecker. He won't know what's hit him. We will be over in Amsterdam. Of course, I'll be over in Dublin. Looking forward to both of these games. We'll have a live show, obviously Wi-Fi pending, because you don't know what you're going to get when you go to the old foreign stadiums. But it will be in the Johan Cruyff Arena, formerly known as the Ajax Arena. I think Ajax Arena and Amsterdam Arena. I've always wanted to go there, so we'll be heading over. And absolutely cannot wait. Apologies, this is not a live episode. We are actually recording this Wednesday morning, very early Wednesday morning. So early, in fact, I came home late, and I was waiting for Martin to get on. And Martin is always late anyway, and he caught me moaning. Where is he? Why is he? And then you censured me over that. So we got off to a great start. And then you went on a rant about VAR and various bits and pieces and why you prefer.
We haven't caught up so long. So,
we haven't, no.
In football, so.
Like an L couple, you and I. We have an L moan about each other. Looking forward to it, obviously. The Dutch game, excuse me, which will be on Saturday the 18th. I fly out. Have I got that right? I fly out on the 17th on Friday. And you fly out the morning of the game. So we will be around anyway. We've got some fancy new microphones. That is not a euphemism. We do actually have microphones, long microphones. And we'll be doing a bit of recording. So if you see us, do say hello as per usual. We'll try not to record down the red light district. That might be a bit embarrassing for some of our fans down there. I don't think they'd appreciate that, Martin, would they? If
being caught down there, yeah.
Any words to your family? No, we're not going to do that. And then, of course, on the Monday we play, or the Tuesday. I'm so glad I did my research. Yes, on the Tuesday, of course, we play the All Whites. That is not a Ku Klux Klan. That is New Zealand. That's what they're called, the All Whites. That was clever.
Yeah, I know. I just want to check. What kit? Do they wear a white kit?
Yeah, all white.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, so that's where I expect our new kit will be worn. We've got a third
That's
kit out, haven't we? And
why.
I think
And
that's
it's
a little promotional.
and the kit's black, isn't it?
Yeah, blackish, kind of green, and everyone's kicking
Mm.
off about it. But that's
Yeah.
Castore.
Hey. I suppose we'll start a little bit about Group B. Actually, of course, our final game in Group B will be against the Dutch. We can't qualify. Here's how it stands. That is up to date, isn't it? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
France, of course, have qualified. They sit on top at 18 points. Netherlands are second on 12 points, having played 6 games. And of course, Greece, 7 points, also locked with 12 points. Of course, Greece are guaranteed a playoff, regardless of what happens. They did have a major blow in the last game, actually, at home to Netherlands. They got a last-minute penalty. So that was unlucky for them. I am describing this because obviously our lovely... If you're watching us on Facebook and YouTube, thank you very much. But also, we do have listeners. There will be an audio version of this particular podcast as well. So just go with me, Martin. Just go with me. There's actually a bit of news coming out about Gus Poyet. In fact, he's about to be sacked. What's going on? I mean, he was starting himself out for the... wasn't he? He was giving the FAI, well, more on them later on. He was giving them the old come get me plea, wasn't he? Earlier. What's going on with
Kind of was, yeah. I mean, he was very disparaging about Irish football in the lead up to our games with them, but and shit stirring and winding up Keith Andrews and everything like that.
Well, he wound himself up, to be fair, didn't he, Keith Andrews?
Yeah, it was an absolute load of nonsense, wasn't it? But yeah, looking at the, is he trying to get himself a raise or whatever it is, or just keep himself in the kind of shop window for club jobs because there's plenty around. Yeah, I'm not taking that in all seriousness any way, to be honest.
I think he's just trying to get a new contract. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, and again, they've not done too badly in this campaign. Obviously, the 2 victories against us, were probably expected for them, I suppose, to be honest. But for them anyway. But yeah, look, they were very unlucky against the Dutch, and obviously it's in the Dutch's hands now, and they can beat us and they qualify automatically, and it's kind of there, isn't it? So
well, here's from a source right on Twitter, just gone on the old Twitter machine there. Hellas Football got 10.2. It's Greek football done in English with a weekly, podcast recorded every Tuesday. 10.2 thousand followers, and according to them and several sources, and this is their post actually, according to several reports, Gus Poyet is about to be sacked, and EPO is already looking for his replacement. So maybe he isn't. Maybe either he was trying to get a raise and has backfired, or maybe he's seen a writing on the wall. So I don't know what's going on there, but anyway, we don't play them again, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so anyway, I mean, we can't qualify from this group. It's done. We were out of it a very, very long time ago. I think we'll talk about obviously the New Zealand game, which is dead rubber, albeit a farewell parade for James McLean and ironically the manager, if you believe what we pretty much all believe. I think the damage was done, wasn't it? Without going too much of a rant about it, I think the damage was done. We didn't expect much against France and Holland, but it was done against Greece, wasn't it? It was well beaten home and away. I think they expect you to be competitive with France and Holland, but not too many miracles. But they don't expect to get an absolute spanking for your rivals for third place, do they?
No, and I think it was the manner of that defeat, wasn't it, away in Athens?
Yeah.
A very disappointing night, and not making tactical changes quick enough. And we've covered it before on the podcast. And then for some reason we had high expectations. We would reverse that. We know we get carried away again. We're going to reverse that at home. Very, again, strange decisions on who he brought in personnel-wise for that one. And again, it just come undone. And sadly, yeah, that will be it, the 2 games. And if you start like analysing all the other previous results, because it obviously is a results business, and you just see the lack of progress, and it is results. Like Mick McCarthy was on Virgin Media the other night, and he says, whatever level of football you're playing, it is results. Like, it doesn't really matter about performances if you have those valiant defeats, which basically France at home was. We were very unlucky. Late Collins, amazing save. But, that detracts away from, the away performance against France. They're playing in 5th gear and they can go up through the levels. Now, I know that's France. That's different. But yeah, it just comes down to them 2 Greek games, and then it's just the other poor performances in other games, like letting Leeds slip horrendously. He's strange decisions with tactics, the personnel he's bringing in, and now we're going into this game now. I said it the other night. We're going into this game with Liam Scales, who couldn't play against Malta because he wouldn't cap him, and he's going to be one of our starting players.
Last November.
That's not as him developing him. That's just kind of by Liam Scales going away and doing really well with Celtic. He's actually on the verge of extending the contract there, I think.
What a turnaround for him. I mean, our only Champions League player was playing regular Champions League football. We'll have a look at the squad here, Martin. Just a quick look. I know we have covered this before with a squad reaction episode, which is available in the archives over at YouTube or over at GreenMachinePodcast.com. But here's the squad. Obviously, no surprises with the goalkeeper, Bazunu, Kelleher, Travers. In defence, as you mentioned, we got Matt Doherty, Festia Basella, Ryan Manning, Liam Scales, as you just mentioned, Shane Duffy, Nathan Collins, Darragh O'Shea, Andrew Amabomadeli. Amabomadeli hasn't featured. He didn't feature this weekend, wasn't even in the squad. Do we actually know what's happened to him?
It's spoke about recently, that apparently Forest are thinking he's one for the future and stuff, but that's just a horrendous move. He's moved there for money, obviously. I'm not begrudging him that, but it should have been a release, a deal with, a loan back. If you're not going to get in there and play, he's got to get out in January.
Strange.
He's got to go out and play. There's got to be something more to it otherwise. Yeah. But that's very damning. You look at those defenders there. Matt Doherty hasn't played enough football. Festia Basella, he came in late to it. Ryan Manning, he's clearly not rated him over the years because he didn't play him in many a game. Liam Scales, as I said, he's given him opportunities now, but not good enough to start away in Malta and cap him. Now he's like our main centre back, probably starting there. Shane Duffy, again, out in the wilderness, and now he came back and he's the captain. Nathan Collins, very good, start to the season in the way Brentford. We hoped he would get that move a little bit like what Amabomadeli has to do and get a move and start playing regularly. But he's bombed him out then after a while because he subbed him at half time, didn't he? And Darragh O'Shea has just been hit and miss and doing okay, but it's just you just think where's everyone else gone? I know Coleman's gone out of that, and Brady, of course, but like
that's an interesting
back in our squad recently. So it's like where are we going with it?
Yeah, and actually, I made a mistake. I said the farewell for James McLean, who there were rumors coming about, wasn't it? Coleman and McLean would be included in the squad, but no room for them.
No, James McLean's going to join up for the second game, and Coleman's not fit enough, but I think he's expected to join up with the squad.
Got you. Okay,
he won't be playing. He's not fit enough. He's not played enough games.
That makes sense. I just want to tell people, like, the last couple of weeks I've been deathly ill, so I wasn't really. That's why there wasn't much. I wasn't on, so I do apologize if I'm a little bit fuzzy. More ways than one, you are. But yes. So okay, James McLean will follow up so he will get his farewell, and Seamus Coleman. I think Coleman, he was back with the under-21s at Everton, wasn't he? But he's clearly not. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. In midfield, we have Josh Cullen, Jason Lumby, Alan Brown, Will Smallbone. Cousin Will scored the weekend. Jason Knight, Jamie McGrath, and Mark Sykes. Jamie McGrath, did you know this about Jamie McGrath? From Kenny's Kids. Ireland Radar. Get it right, Mark. Don't be calling it Kenny's Kids. I mean, to be fair, you think you would have waited until nothing against Calvert-Lewin, by the way. Not Calvert-Lewin. Ronan Calvert. Jesus. Ronan Calvert. Oh, God. Not against him. It's all a bit of crack. But you think you would have waited until Stephen Kenny was gone before he fucking changes the name to Ireland Radar. But just a reminder from Ronan, he was a big fan of Jamie McGrath, that Ireland have lost only twice when he's featured: Portugal away and Netherlands at home. Started the draws of Portugal at home, Serbia home, and 6 wins against smaller nations. Ireland scored 19 goals across those matches. That is all down to Jamie McGrath, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, there is a bit of breaking news this evening. Jamie McGrath is a doubt. I think he's had a scan today.
Don't tell Ronan.
I know we'll come on and cover Evan. He's had a scan as well. Cousin Will, sadly, is out the squad now. So
is he?
Yeah, he's out.
Right.
So,
that's a shame.
That is a shame.
That is a shame. He
shame for the family, to be honest.
Yeah. You'll have no one to try to smooch up to in the player section. No. That's a joke, by the way. If anyone from the FAI is watching, that is a joke. we have humor here. We have humor on this particular podcast, Martin, don't we?
Yeah.
It's not just all about stats, you know. We don't talk about Jamie McGrath has only lost. We've only lost twice. I mean, yeah, what the fuck is that about? You know, and actually, the funny thing is that particular game that Ronan's on about, he did actually score, and he actually scored. He scored a lovely free kick. To be fair,
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And you know, I'll give his due. I didn't actually post that on the Facebook account, but somebody did say you better mention that. I was like, well, I've actually been quite ill, and so I won't mention that. But yeah, not a begrudger, but that particular illness did preclude me from not replying to said gentleman, but actually reporting it on. It was a weird illness, Martin. I couldn't post it. You know, yeah, modern viruses and all that kind of stuff. So we're going back to the squad anyway. Josh Cullen, yeah. Burnley, how are Burnley doing, Martin? Learning lots of lessons according to Vincent Kompany at the.
Yeah, they're going to struggle though, aren't they? In this, look at the budgets and stuff for football and things. So
going to struggle.
It was good though. Obafemi. Sorry, I was going to say Obafemi. He was on the bench the other night, so it's good to see him back. But again, I do worry about him because he's just. Fits and starts with him.
Back in the championship next season, Martin. I think Burnley currently, after 12 games, rock bottom, have lost their last 5 games in the Premier League. Sheffield United, Luton Town make up the bottom 3. Just saying, and Bournemouth, of course. Mark Travers, I think he's that's very fair to Mark Travers, wasn't it? He was doing well at Stoke, mid-table, doing all right, and then Bournemouth have brought him back, and and now Neto's back. It's like,
that's just the goalkeeper's lot, though, isn't it? You got one position you can play in, and these managers make these weird decisions, and they don't really care about the consequences for your career and things. It's your goalkeeper's lot. So
it's all about the club. Yeah. Forward lineup: Evan Ferguson. Well, I was looking at that the weekend. Go, where the hell is Evan? He's still in the squad. He's had a scan, as you say. He is not going to be ruled out. Adamaida got a winner, didn't he? At 84th minute winner over the weekend. Callum Robinson, I think, got an assist and a goal. And Young Ogbeni there.
What's his first name again?
Young.
He actually is he's actually having a scan as well, which is a great shame. So I really like him. Ogbene, I think he's been our best player. I think in this campaign overall. I would say him, probably Jason Knight. I think to be up there as well. But Ogbene just gives us such an outlet and I think incredible rise to. It was interesting actually. I said it on the last podcast where we done the squad preview, but Stephen Kenny mentioned he just was very patient, waited his time to get his chance with Luton, and now he's doing it, and he's scored in the Premier League, and we haven't had a lot of Irish scorers in the Premier League, and he's doing it. So fair play.
Did well against Liverpool in that 1-1 draw, of course. Mikey Johnston hasn't featured for Celtic. Hopefully a loan for him in January. And Troy Parrott, who's actually done very well for Celtic. I think he's got 2 goals now, Troy Parrott. So he's coming into it. Probably, just some of the fringe players here. Jake O'Brien got his first goal. He's in the under-21s, isn't he? Jake O'Brien got his first goal for Leon.
Yeah.
And then poor Andy Moran, actually. Sorry, not poor Andy Moran, but Andy Moran has been... brought in, yes. He better play.
Well, he did say in the preview, the press conference when he revealed his squad, he did say that he would be looking to bring him in for the second game. So you got to think James McLean's coming into that as well. But yeah, look, he's with the squad now. He's going to be travelling. You would hope he's going to get an opportunity. All the media coverage from the FAI that they're doing their little videos and showing training. It's kind of highlighting their big welcome.
Little videos. You say that with such disdain in your voice.
Oh, man. I like them. It's good. It's actually quite good. I actually watch them just to see what's going on in the background, who's training and stuff. I think that gives us a bit of insight to why is he not there today and whatever. But I mean, yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? Like, we watch the Arrival videos, don't we? Sponsored by Nissan. I like them as well. The ones where they stand outside the hotel and the lads will come in and it's very pally and stuff. I like that.
Are you being facetious, Martin?
No, I'm not. No, I do. I do like it. I think it's quite good. It shows the bond between the players and stuff when they all join up then and then they're in playing pool and darts and having a crack. We've had some good little. We've had some. Who was it? It was Evan Ferguson, wasn't it? Oh, superstars here and stuff like that. I like that. It's a bit of crack between them all, and it just shows you the bond, and it shows how welcoming they all are. And
you sit there lolling it at it.
I do
sit there, I loll at it. Yeah,
yeah. I like it because I oh God, that's what Omar Bamadelli looks like. Because I haven't seen him this season.
He is alive.
He is alive.
He is actually.
That's him.
I have seen him. He is real. I believe.
Yeah.
I have actually seen him in person. He was in the Algarve. He was outside the stadium. I think he was on the phone. No, was he? It's like eating fruit or something like that. So he does exist, apparently. I mean, having the scales, didn't we? Didn't know where he was at Celtic, and now look at him. He's a regular.
Exactly. It can just change, though, can't it? That he's the perfect example. Like Liam Scales, it can just change. He's travelled around for ages with them. I think this is something that used to happen with the squad. A lot, especially under Trapp, I think it was. You had a lot of players who just kind of always called up for squads. Now I know they get a few quid. Like I think that's important to note. They do get a few quid coming up for playing for Ireland and stuff. It's not like England where they have a big, sponsorship player pool and stuff, and it's worth a lot more value. They do get a few quid. It's all right, what they get. But
is it 800 quid, 900 quid, something like that?
It's more than that now. Yeah, it's a lot more than that. But I think it is, yeah. But then the thing about it is, you have to remember it's just how football works. A lot of people don't really get this. It's because you can go back to your club then, and contractually, you've got international call-ups in your kind of CV. That's just all bonuses and stuff like that. That's how it all works with that kind of thing. So it's important to note that at times that is a factor with these lads where they take the call up and go, because they can turn around and go, I'm actually, when they're negotiating their contracts, I'm an international footballer. Well, have you played? No, but I get called up all the time. That's it. And it's
that's what got Omar Bamadelli the fucking transfer, was it?
Yeah. It is that though. He can say, I play for Ireland, I'm going to be a future Irish international, and there you go. He puts money on his transfer, doesn't it?
No, fair. Moving. Oh, actually, Evan Ferguson. Did you see that Mark Cross? The interview where he turned around and he goes, "Oh, it's only no." He turned around. Mark. No, he's turned around and said to the interviewer for TalkSport, and he said that it's a Mark Cross. Is that his name?
I think so. I did. Well, I actually showed someone it again today because I'm just amazed still. But yeah, I know what you're going to say. He kind of said, "Oh, it was tongue in cheek and stuff like."
No, it wasn't. Hold on. Let me find out. Before I go off on one at this guy. What is his his bloody name?
Alex Crook.
Alex Crook. Mark Cross. Who's Mark Cross? Just making up names over here. Anyway, Alex Crook. I wouldn't mind, but listen to him every day because I listen to White and Jordan every day. Anyway, Martin Neal was on it actually. Yeah, so Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, way to ruin your legacy. God.
Oh my God! But he just goes like he can't just go straight. He has to go up and fucking his right arm has to go up around his leg, his back, and everything just to get to his left wrist. It is horrible to listen to. Anyway, Alex Crook, yes, he asked Evan Ferguson, in an interview for TalkSport, will you ever play for Ireland? Oh, no, sure, that's, it's never going to happen. That's all right, yeah. And why are you so committed to Ireland? What kind of fucking question is that?
Yeah. There should be so much like, again, the media and the Irish FA, they should have done a piss take of that. They should have had, they I don't know. Maybe they don't get it right, but they should be like cutting little snippets of like asking Zidane and other players. Are you going to play for Ireland? Why don't you play for Ireland? He was ridiculous.
He
wasn't tongue in cheek. I'm not having it there. He was tongue in cheek.
No, it wasn't. No, because like I'll give you an example. I remember U2 were on the Jonathan Ross show, and two members were born in England. And Jonathan Ross goes, "Oh, you're an Irish band, but would you not consider yourself British? Like, goes to the edge. Would you not jump to the other side? Because you're born in London." Go, "Oh, no. We're Irish." And it was a bit of crack. You go, "All right," you laugh it off. And that was the first bit where he goes, any chance to play for England? No. But it was the second bit when he goes, and why?
Why not? Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Like, why are you so determined to play for Ireland? Something like that. It's like,
Stupid
I
question.
mean, he handled it really well. I mean, what it shows is that he's just such a grounded, level-headed young man, really, and he's absolutely flying. And you can, I've seen a few little interviews with him recently. Obviously, signed the contract there at Brighton. Fantastic for him.
Great player, yeah.
But you know, he's just grounded, level-headed. Got a massive future ahead of him. He's hopefully that'll be the end of it now. Getting asked these stupid fucking questions. To be honest,
no, you never know with the British media though. Like, I do think we do get we're a bit oversensitive with the whole, you know, oh, they're trying to take everybody, but they do it, and now it's just, I do think the way people went on, like, and just for the record, anyone out there watching it, Evan Ferguson can now not play for England. It was never going to happen, and people thought that the reason why he was pulling out of squads was because he was getting ready to play for England is utter nonsense.
Yeah,
and the fact that grew as many legs as it did is just incredible. Anyway, that's what rant over. But yeah, he's not a doubt, but he is a worry a little bit.
We need to get him right though, because I keep saying anything I see him doing, I just think like the age of him, profile of him. You know, I read a great interview with him. Chris Sutton did an interview with him this week, really good as well. He's just very level-headed. It's frightening, I think, what he could be. I think he'll be better than Robbie.
Oh yeah, and you know, no disrespect.
And we got to build a team around him. And this is the thing with Stephen Kenny as well. We have not developed him in our team. Like, he's brought him into it. I remember being at something with Stephen Kenny, and I think that's where he said, "Oh, we're bringing Evan in," and he's 16, I think, at that time, and he said, "Yeah, we're fast tracking him because look, he's going to be a hell of a player." But all right, you have to take your time with him, but he's actually dictating to Ireland what he's doing at club level to show that you don't have to wait for him. It's a little bit like Rooney. He was ready. He's a man in the boy's body, right?
Yeah.
So
you watched number 29, but he was ready.
Yeah, but he was ready though. But so you manage him right, and I know we're worried about like the niggles, the growing pains, perhaps stuff like that. But if they manage, you build it around him. Like, everything should be through him now, and you don't. You know, we can't afford to hold him back and not build it around him. So he has to be the starting man for us up front, and if he's fit, and build it around him.
No, absolutely. And of course, you know,
penalties, free kicks, corners. He's on everything.
Yeah, he's it takes the goal kicks. He takes it all. Yeah, he's in goal. You name it. No. He's a wonderful talent, and you know, hopefully he does get to play against Dutch and New Zealand as well. I mean, obviously it's dead rubber. Can we still get a playoff? Is this still a thing, or?
I think there's a minimal hope of it, but it's all results going the other way, and we have to lose, and
we have to lose.
Is the one thing we will do.
Yeah. But I mean, wouldn't be the first time, it wouldn't be the first time we've actually sort of doctored the result, or we've sort of negotiated a result with the Dutch. When you think back to 1990, when we both were drawing 1-1, we were going through. But I don't think that'll be actually a factor here, because apparently if we lose to the Dutch, it's better than us beating the Dutch for playoff hopes.
We'd love to be at Euros, right? But for me, like, what's the point?
No.
Like, no, we're a team building, and
is this the most pointless transfer window? Sorry, not transfer. Is this the most pointless international window you've experienced? For me, it's probably the most pointless one since the Steve Staunton one. Do you remember the end of that? The 2-2 against Wales, the 2-2. It's just like,
yes, it's very much like that. Very much like that, yeah. But I think it's just, the fans are going to go to Amsterdam anyway. It was always going to be a decent trip. The Tuesday night's going to be a tough sell in Dublin, and you can't give tickets away for that. But I think we have sold out our allocation.
24,000 season ticket holders apparently in Dublin.
That's
for next year. No fixtures announced.
That's rubbish.
I think I've extended mine. I don't know, Kenny McCoy, if you're listening. I don't know.
That's taken into account supporters club stuff, and I know we haven't even submitted our one from West London, so that's just banking on that, and they're going to be down with numbers. They were thinking they were going to get 18,000. They're not going to get near enough, and again they're banking on getting England as a big game, and that's the thing. We need to, with our under-21s, we need to keep them plying their trade at that level and get experience like that. Sinclair Armstrong, Andrew Moore, and is coming up into the senior squad here, but that's what we need to do. We need to start qualifying for these under-21 tournaments rather than going into a Euros when we're not ready. and
No,
and like we got to build now. We need a new manager in there. We need to build on that.
Do you,
We're building the squad.
do you
A
think?
better manager will get a better tune out of these players?
Do you?
The talent is there in that squad.
100%. There's enough there to carve out a good side. Do you think? Right, and we'll finish up on this. We'll move on to a couple of other bits. Do you think Daniel McDonnell wrote an interesting piece a few days ago, and he said that the FAI should basically just announce, look, Stephen's going at the end of this campaign, and we all know he's going. We're not going to qualify, and you could actually have an amicable, nice farewell. Say, you know, you're a proper football man. Thanks for everything. It hasn't worked out. You tried your best. We know this is your dream job, and you've had it for 3 years. Sorry, but we've got to move on, and just have a kind of nice and not have any, you know, that way you wouldn't have any booze, right? Well, you'd hope you wouldn't have any booze. You think they'd be better off just doing that, or?
I don't think they will do that because I think they're kind of going to give him the respect that he probably thinks he needs, and you know he's still in contention. His view, his mindset, I believe, is until we're mathematically out of it, which is obviously on thingy, but he's not going to go after that and step down unless we get a 4-0, 5-0 hiding. I still don't think he'd go. He'd think he's
New Zealand.
I'll bring him in. I'll still manage the team for New Zealand. We'll say farewell. He'll do his little lap. It's not worked out. It's a shame. But I mean, the legacy will be there. He's capped players. I know he goes on about it, so I'm not going to repeat what he does.
No.
But we've said it, and I think it's just going to be proven to be right. History will be kind that he fast-tracked players, and those players will be key players for us going forward.
Yeah,
but it will be under a different direction of a far better manager who will get a tune out of them. And I think that has to be out there. And I think will happen is the FAI, they're not going to rush into this. They're going to just wait, see what the Nations League campaign brings. Even if it is England, they can afford to, you know, wait till September, wait till the Euros are over. Who's available then? Is Southgate going to still be with England after that Euros? Or does Carsley step up? We don't know. There's going to be money around. How are we going to have a sponsor? I mean, that's all questions for the FAI, and they're under pressure now, some of the senior people there. But I think we will bide our time because there's only March games. This is pre-Euro friendlies. It's not going to be essential to get a manager in there who can be the main person. You might as well wait. It's not going to dictate anything now through the doors. We're trying to sell season tickets at the moment.
Yeah, but
on the back of we don't have a name. If you announce Roy Keane tomorrow, you'll sell 10,000 more season tickets. But they're not going to. I'm not saying that, but I'm not saying to do that. I'm saying if you did,
you want Roy?
No,
I'm saying,
you? No, I don't. But if you did say that, that will put bums on seats. They're not thinking commercially minded. They're thinking we need the right person because this is now a big pressure thing for Jonathan Hill.
Well,
they've got to get this recruitment right. They have to get the next manager right, haven't they?
Well, hold that thought. We're going to just pause for a second because we're going to talk about Jonathan Hill in a second, and we'll move on to that. But just to draw a line under this, we will be in Amsterdam. We will be in Dublin. We will be coming live at you, the usual pre-game aftermath live from the Johan Cruyff Arena and live from Lansdowne Road. So do join us. We will be live. We will also have a review. We have a preview actually of the Dutch game the day before. We will also a live one, that is, by the way. We'll have the live post match, and then we'll do the usual pre-game. I'll be in Dublin. We'll be doing a live one for that before the New Zealand game, and of course post match on the day live from Lansdowne Road. And then when I fly in from London, we're going to go live that night against basically it will be the winner review, and maybe we won't go too deep, I don't think, into the Stephen Kenny era because we all feel that, you know, it's going to be the last game, but we will be doing a live review of the window, which is always a bit of a free-for-all. So nowhere else to go, lads. If you're not going to the game, give us a follow. Watch what we're doing. Green Machine, Lansdowne Road, on the YouTube channel, on the website. There's no, where else would you want to go? Where else gives you your say like we give you your say? We are the voice of the fans. Don't forget that. Right. Moving on to the more serious business, Martin. Hopefully you've recollected your thoughts. It has come out. You talk about getting things right about Jonathan Hill. It has come out a couple of days ago that Sports Ireland have suspended the funding for the FAI due to two things. One, they failed to get a 40% female presence on the board. They actually voted against this, something that they've actually been after them for about 20 years, if I'm not mistaken. Goes back to the Genesis report. Maybe not those exact numbers, but definitely breaking up the structure of the board. And of course, it was in 2019 when we had the shit show under Delaney, and we had the whole thing with Sports Ireland there. They had to have a 40% female presence on the board. And now it's also come out that due to holiday payments for the FAI, the in situ FAI CEO, Jonathan Hill, doesn't live in Ireland. He lives in London. Apparently, he was given payments for his holiday that he did not claim. Now, you think, okay, what's so wrong about that? Apparently, it meant he went over his quota for his salary, which was agreed upon with Sports Ireland. Stick with me on this one. He couldn't earn over a certain amount because we didn't want to go back to the days of Delaney, essentially. But it went over that because he's paid these extra payments. And also, SIP2 have come out this morning, rightfully, in my opinion, I'm always on the side of the workers, saying that, hold on a second, why was he paid for holidays he couldn't take? Because we believe our workers have been told that the FAI have a policy of, if you lose your holidays, tough, you have to take them. It's up to you to take. We cannot pay you for them. So why is it one rule for us and one rule for the CEO? So basically, Martin, this is another FAI shit show. And I said this morning on the group chat between yourself and Nick, is that Jonathan Hill was brought in from the FA to steady the ships, to basically have no more skeletons in the closet, and to basically have no more scandal. And yet here he is, the very man that was brought in to do that, at the center of another FAI scandal. It's never dull, is it?
No, it's not. A fantastic story, actually, broken by a friend of the podcast, Mark Tighe.
Yes,
which, you know, and I think it's fitting. But I've got my I finally got my Bazunu Blue shirt in the background here for my I said I'd get one, and I was proven right.
You are proven right.
There you go. But no, as I said, in all seriousness, Mark Tighe, fantastic bit of journalism on this and finding out things. And obviously, all is not well in the FAI, because this is obviously coming out. These kind of stories and things are being kind of, you know, they are answerable to government and Sports Ireland, and now this funding has been taken away from them. We can't afford that. We can't afford to still be without a sponsor, and it will raise valid questions of the CEO and the hierarchy within.
Well,
Dunphy
wants him gone. Dunphy wants him gone. You shared that article. He said the best.
Yeah, I think I just. There's just a lot wrong with it. The lack of engagement. I've met him a few times. I think there's a lack of engagement with supporters groups, lack of engagement with just fans and different kind of stakeholders, basically, and not appreciating what they bring to the table. I think the sponsorship's a massive thing. Does he really understand the kind of intricacies of Irish football? We saw the FAI Cup final the other day. Lots of scathing reports from fans at that. I mean, we sold out. We can glorify the fantastic attendance at the FAI Cup final, but it's actually in spite of all the efforts from the FAI, in a sense.
You talk about happened. You talk about lack of presence, right? I'm currently scrolling through Jonathan Hill's Twitter, and his handle is @JonathanFAI. So it is his Twitter account. All he does is just repost stuff. He reposted that Wexford on the 12th. Which is 3 days ago, as of recording. Wexford FC, you congratulations James Crawford on his call up to under 19. So he reposted that. He just reposted sports, the fact that the cup final, great, by the way, that was sold out, fantastic, broke a record from 1945. He reposted Daniel McDonnell about, you know, more about the attendance. Funny enough, he didn't repost any stories from Daniel McDonnell about the payment scandal. He reposted on the 7th, Ireland versus Hungary tickets go general public. It's just lazy. He just reposts shit. He doesn't engage.
It's not consistent kind of media presence. Now, whether he has to have that, I'd rather he's not on it than what he is doing that at the moment, because it's nothing. Like it's not.
What does he do?
Of any,
doesn't live here. How
No,
the
but
fuck can a CEO of the FA not live in
we'll
Ireland?
be very unfair here, and we'll compare him to our friend Noel Mooney, and very engaging with fans, understands, really got the Welsh FA, the fan base, all behind the Welsh. You know, the first time they were in the World Cup for years and stuff, fantastic. But engages with people, you know, answers questions, political minded, I would say. But you know, I just think, you know, the Irish Post Awards were here in London last week. Rusha Littlejohn and Grace Maloney got the award on behalf of the women's team, and I know this for a fact. The table plan was sent to me by someone who I knew was at it, and they said, and it had like Jonathan Hill that was going to be there in attendance. I don't think he was in attendance though.
Okay.
And I think someone actually asked, "I was Jonathan Hill here?" Now at the awards, watching it, like you could watch. Oh, I flicked it back quickly to kind of watch this live coverage of it, and saw the girls getting this award. But you know, it was a big thing of mentioned. Oh, and the CEO of the FAI is here tonight, Jonathan Hill. I don't think he was there at all, but that is something he probably should be at. You know, we've tried to engage with him at the London Supporters Club on many times. You have chats with him every now and again, but there's no engagement. They don't want to engage now. It's a customer base, it's commercial minded. Ironically, I say that when he's not delivering commercially, because we haven't got a sponsor, and we still piss around with these stupid shit kit launches, you know, with you know, at least with Jesus Christ. And that's not fun. But you know, we used to just do better things than that with launching stuff.
Before, you know, I sort of rudely interrupted you and sort of drew a line under the kind of the international window part of the podcast, which is normally where we would have drawn a line up and finished up by now. But of course, this is a massive story, and it will have ramifications, implications of the future of Irish football, as everything they do does. Never in a positive way either. But you know, when you look at Jonathan Hill, right, he hasn't. We don't know what he brings to the table. We don't, and he hasn't hired a manager, because Stephen Kenny was in situ when Jonathan Hill was given the job. He was brought in by the other permanent, the previous his permanent predecessor, John Delaney. He was brought in, so we don't know who, you know, what his idea of a manager is. He has recommended a contract extension, but that is the extent of, in terms of his vision for Irish football that we know about. We don't know what manager he wants to put in. Now, I know this is director of football, but he has to ratify. He recommends it to the board, and the board go, yeah. So we don't really know what he's done, what decisions he's actually made. You know, he doesn't live in Dublin. He lives in London. He was supposed to move. I think he lives in Balham, a place I know very well, actually, in South London, not too far from where he used to live. So we don't actually really know what he's done. We don't have a senior men's sponsor. He comes from a marketing background, a financial background with the FA. You know,
he's delivered the Euros.
We got the Euros by default.
Yeah,
and I know you
pulled out.
Yeah.
So no, and then the other thing that he's been prominent in is obviously the women's situation with qualifying for the World Cup, but that went wrong. But that went wrong. Like that went wrong with Vera and how she felt.
How that was handled,
and that doesn't reflect well on the association at all. Like,
and they still don't have a manager.
There's so much wrong still with the FAI, and I think just sadly, I think with the results off the pitch, with results, we're in a bit of a lull. It's just apathy. We're pissed off with the football on the pitch. We're not getting results. We're optimistic about the under-21s. We were happy with the women's. They seem to be doing well, but then
women's
that's
are doing
kind of
great,
gone
by
wrong.
The way.
Yeah, but again, that's the irony of it, though, isn't it? And that's what Eamon Dunphy said.
It's in spite, isn't it? I mean, you look at the League of Ireland there, right? And actually, Stephen Kenny commented on this with his press conference today or yesterday, and you know, he's asked about, how do you feel about, you know, the FAI, the FAI Cup breaking records? You know, he even went on like we're grossly underinvested. You know, the facilities are way behind. You know, he's not causing any controversy. We all know that a blind man and a galloping horse could see that's the case. But all right, we sold out Leinster, which is brilliant. That's not down to the FAI. You know, the women's team are doing brilliant.
Push that.
Yeah, the women's team are doing, and it's always the clubs, by the way, that push those things. The women's team are doing brilliant, but they don't have a manager, a proper manager in situ. What I mean is, they don't have a permanent manager in situ. Eileen Glees is doing a great job, by the way. And I know Nick would love to see her get the job, but she doesn't. I think she's more interested in the technical side. Yeah, fair enough. And we don't know what we don't know what's happening with the senior team either. The senior men's team, it's all just, as you say, it's all apathy.
And they're still trying to sell commercial, like still trying to sell season tickets, trying to sell new shirts. Like there's just so much wrong with it all. Like no one's in love with it at the moment. No one. Any
success we have is in spite of the FEI, not because of
it. Is and that's the irony even of this thing where the gender balance on these boards. People, old school people who are fossils in them roles. They don't want to relinquish power. They voted for something that we're going to implement. They're now voted against it, and they don't care about the selfishness of that.
The selfishness,
and yet the irony of that though is we're trying to promote the women's game. And again, fantastic things are happening around the country at women's clubs, like Wexford Youth women's team, brilliant. Like you can do so well. I mean, this should.
It's infuriating.
Like 88 and 90 on the back of that Women's World Cup. It should just be flying.
Here's what pisses
really
me on.
Struggling to fulfill women's football needs.
And you're spot on. Yeah,
it's just not happening. But it's just not happening, though, is it?
You're absolutely spot on. And what pisses me off about the whole thing with that is, right, they don't have a pot to piss in. They don't, and they need government funding. They have gone to the government, right, after Leah Varadkar turned around and said, I think in the April of the year, turned around and said, oh yeah, we got the Euros. What a chance to show off for world-class facilities, i.e. a stadium. One stadium already built 13 years ago. And then in June, the FEI turned around and said, by the way, lads, we need £1 billion to get football in this country up to snuff. And they were right to quantify it, by the way. I've said that from the start. So they know that they need money from the government. Yet the government has said, well, in order for you to get your funding, which isn't enough, right? However, it's a start, and everything's about a start. And the government has said to them, in order to keep your funding, you have to show that you can play ball, that you've changed. So one of the things you need, obviously financial transparency, which apparently only came about, I could be wrong, I think it was Cozy, Sports Ireland went through the accounts of the FEI and discovered this, right? So I'm not saying there's been anything belligerent going on with the FEI, right? I'm not saying there's anything nefarious. It's probably just an oversight. Okay, we'll get back to that in a second. However, they've said we have to show you've changed, that you're transparent with your finances, because the last regime pre-2019, that wasn't the case. Allegedly, and it's still going on. But we've all read the book, Champagne Football, great book, right? So they haven't done that. They haven't met the equality standards that they want for female representation, which is 40%. For what? Okay, they made a mistake, and Jonathan Hill's agreed to pay back that money.
Yeah,
that's very important. We must mention. I'm sure it was an oversight, by the way. I'm sure it was an oversight. Genuinely, I don't say that with any sarcasm. But these guys, these dinosaurs, who basically need funding, are saying, no, we're not going to play ball. We're not going to have 40% female representation. I mean, Eamon Duffy said it in his article. If you need the government to give you money, you do as you're fucking told. You do as you're told.
They don't want to relinquish power. I mean, the thing about it's just sad, really, because we're all wanting Irish football to kind of develop and do well, and we know this £1 billion is never going to happen.
Future women's football.
You're not going to get it. You're not going to get it because they won't trust the people who are in charge of it, and I can't see how that's ever going to change. It's going to be yes men. It's going to be me. It's going to be that. We can see that throughout every association.
They've proven that. What was his name? Shane Ross. They've proven Shane Ross. Shane Ross said, you're not going to get 1 cent till you've made the structural changes, or you've shown that you've got an attitude, an appetite for change. They've just proven again, those people that voted against this, that actually, no, we're not going to change. So the government are going to say, well, we're not going to give you more money then.
Yeah. That's the shame of it.
On.
I think back to this, though, this is going to be a bit of a weird tangent, what I'm going to say. What my criticism of Jonathan Hill would be is, and I don't know how I'm kind of linking this to it, but Ed Chamberlain. Ed Chamberlain from Sky.
Yes.
Right, remember the Sky Super Sunday?
Yes.
The presenter. Now he does ITV Racing. When he gave up the Sky Sports job to go and head up ITV Racing as kind of producer and do that show and regenerate it. He obviously had like gardening leave of it. And I heard him on an interview once on a brilliant podcast. And they said, "Oh, what have you been doing?" and stuff like, and tell us about your interest in racing, because everyone just thought he's a football presenter. Yeah. And he said, I've always been into racing. I'll prove that I know what I know. I know everything about racing. And he goes, and for the last 6 months, I've just been going around shaking hands. And they went, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I've been everywhere. I've been in every yard in the country racing. I've been at race meetings. I've been meeting clerks of the course. I've been meeting everybody I can in racing to know how it all works, to shake as many hands as possible, to introduce myself to." And he goes, "And I will prove myself in the presenting world to know that, to show everybody I know what I am about racing. I'm a football presenter at the moment, but my passion is racing. I'm going to prove it." Jonathan Hill hasn't even been around someone, as far as I know, and from quite good sources I've spoken to, because obviously we're interested in Irish football. Me and you were chatting about this now, obviously on the podcast. I've chatted to lots of people about what do you think of this, and obviously, as I said, didn't see that he was at the Irish Post Awards and he was supposed to be last week. For me, though, a lot of people have said
in London,
he doesn't work the room. He hasn't been to the Carlisle grounds apparently, where we've had underage international games that played. So he hasn't been around stadiums. He hasn't been around the country working. Like for all the criticism of John Delaney, he worked it politically. He went round and he was opening grounds and giving money. Okay, it might not have been his money, and he might not have been, but he might. Well, he wasn't the right officially. He was just making that decision himself, not running it by the board. We know that all went wrong. I'm not defending that, but still, he was going round, and I think that's where we've gone wrong. Like we haven't had someone who knows Irish football enough to be able to go round and, okay, we know you're actually one of us. That's where I think Jonathan Hill's falling down at the moment, and I don't know how he can rescue that. And is that because his mindset is, I'm a businessman, basically. This is not a football job. This is a marketing job. That's what I've come in to do. We're going to bring money in from this Euros bid. Oh, well, we achieved that. We've got a European...
£6 million, yeah.
We've got a European UEFA Cup competition next summer in Dublin. That's another thing I've sorted. But everything else, I think it's unforgivable that we don't have a... whatever the deal was, even if it was just to get good faith back in Irish football, that we haven't got a sponsor. You should be going... It didn't have to be financially brilliant. Maybe this is naive of me to think this, but just to have the backing of Irish companies.
Do you know what he could have done?
Irish football as an interim period, that would have been a big
thing. Do you know what he could have done? Right, you get sponsorship for the shirt, but it's not sold with the sponsorship on it, and you turn around and say, "Well, what's this?" Well, I said, "Look, we wanted to obviously promote Irish." He could have given a whole spiel.
You could just say Ryanair are supporting. If it was Ryanair are supporting Irish football, they believe in it. That's all it is. That's the market ploy for Ryanair to sponsor Ireland. We don't need to be on a shirt, but we back Irish football, and we're backing the fans traveling around. That's it.
And you could also turn around and say, and we know that the fans have had the displeasure of, since 1986, of having the Opel, have the sponsorship on the shirt, and they don't like that. So we listen to the fans. So then again, you're endearing yourself to the fans. Okay, listen, it's like he's done his research.
The marketing campaign isn't, we don't need to be on the shirt to be supporting Irish football. That's it. That's what it needed to be, and very clever marketing from that.
Yeah,
and it would have gone down well with the fans and brought money in, and people go, actually, we are quite fickle. We like Circle K and stuff. People will go into them and say, "Oh, it's got Irish flags in." Yeah, I would be anyway. But they just don't market it. We've spoken about this a long time. They don't do annuals. They don't do all these little things that bring a few quid in every year. They don't do all that anymore.
No, they don't. Well,
and help they don't help supporters clubs. They don't help themselves, basically.
Oh God, we're on one now, Martin, are we?
No, I could go on about it all day, but they just don't. There's no interest in them. They're very... Nick would love me saying it. Me Fainers, that's it.
May Fainers.
God, sorry.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, well, I suppose you're not a native speaker, are you, Martin? So, can't hold that against you. Thank you, Martin, for that lovely bit of tangent at the end. So there you go. It's all bollocks, really, isn't it? I suppose in the end. Anyway,
we're going, and we're still going.
And we're still going. We will always go, no matter what. And I can't wait for it. It's going to be a bit of crack. not literally. I'm not over to do drugs in Amsterdam. I am teetotal. But anyway, speaking of which, we will be in Amsterdam. We will be walking around Amsterdam, not around the red light district, because did you want to bring Keen with you, or did the wife? No, never mind.
No. Keen was coming to this one. This is the trip. This was the one. It doesn't clash with football the weekend as well, so it's a nice one.
It wasn't strategic to sort of keep you out of trouble. No, it's just fair enough. And
I might have a bag of. You can't drink on the streets there. Very important message. I don't think you can drink on the streets. Is a very important message. So no bag of cans.
Yeah.
You on about a bag of toy. I don't know what you want a bag of toys. I don't know what that was for. But
you can go down. You can basically you can't walk down the street with a can in your hand, but you can walk down the street and get your hole.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
and don't get knocked down by the bikes.
All right, and before you finish up now, I've got a name drop in again. We are from the Risk London Supporters Club. We have got a book signing, quick Q&A on the 14th of December in the Cladder Ring, Northwest London, with Liam Brady. His book, Born to be a Footballer, an excellent read. Come along if you are in the London area. All welcome to come. You don't have to be a member of the club to come up and find out about the Supporters Club. Some fantastic raffle prizes as well. And yeah, it's on 7:00 on. And Dave, you'll be there as well, won't you?
I will be there. Yes, indeed. So a very exciting project coming up. Oh, we have some big news coming up towards the end of this year. Big things happening coming your way next year. And yes, we're going to finish up. We're finally going to finish up now. This is the real deal. We will be in Amsterdam. We will be walking around. We will have a bag of cans. Won't be drinking them though. We will be in Dublin. We will be doing live shows. So do give us a follow. Do head over to YouTube. Do follow us on Instagram. Do follow us on Facebook and Twitter and all that lovely, lovely stuff. And we'll see what happens. And then at the end of it all, the day after the final game against New Zealand, when I get back from the plane from Dublin, my final trip of the year, we will sit down and we'll have a big powwow with yourselves. It'll all be live and you'll be able to comment on that one. Anyway, we're going to leave it there. Thank you, Martin, for joining us. Thank you, guys at home, for watching us or listening to us wherever you are. Look after yourselves. Good night or good morning, and God bless. And I suppose, come on, you boys in green.